Hey guys, today I just want to talk about a quick ergonomic modification to make for your SV650. Now this topic is pretty, I'd say, well covered in forums, but there's no videos on it that I know of, and I think that a lot of the information on forums is extra. Like, it doesn't need to be. It's so much simpler than people are making it online. What is it? Handlebars. Clip-ons come with the SV650S or just plain version, and the SV650N comes with standard bars, kind of like this, but not exactly. The setup's a little bit different. I had the SV650S, as you can tell by the lower fairing, and I had clip-on bars, which come out to about here, you know, and they are uncomfortable. My symptoms were my hands would fall asleep just being like this. I have to shake them out every like 30 seconds after half an hour of riding. It was miserable. My back would ache. I mean, 30 to 40 miles and that would start happening. It wasn't very long. I did a 2-hour drive with the clip-ons. It was uncomfortable. This winter I decided that I was going to be done with that, and I wanted to swap the SV650N bars onto my SV650S. I was like, oh, it's going to be simple. Just got to find one on Craigslist. It turned out that it was, I don't know, not really true. There wasn't really any good just parts bikes on Craigslist, and so my next idea was to go to the dealership and buy an SV650N upper triple tree clamp. And then it would have the mounts for the bar risers. I would just have to buy the bar risers and the bar and all the extra stuff. But turns out that's $180 by itself. Maybe even more, I can't remember now. But it was a hefty hunk of change that I did not really want to spend, considering I was going to have to buy bars and cables and lines and all the rest of the stuff. So I did some more digging around, and I only found one other person who suggested this, and he just drilled right into the one he has right now. I personally had these bar risers just in my parts hoard in my garage, so I didn't actually have to go out and buy them, but it would be super easy to go and buy these and then just measure up where you want. There's some cross hatching on the back of the casting that the triple clamps are made of. I just took a pencil line and some calipers, and I really, I got it to like plus or minus 5/1000ths of an inch of, play this way, so that when you're driving straight down the road, your handlebars aren't darn like this. So all I did was carefully measure up on the backside and marked out where I wanted to drill my holes, and then I took it to a drill press, drilled them out, put the bar risers on, and it was perfect. Nothing, no problems. I mean, it's close. Like, I can't tell the difference. For what all do you have to do besides that? Because I was wondering that same thing myself. So after you get your bar risers and you place it on your bar clamp, then you're going to have to get handlebars. For me personally, I chose to go with the Renthal fat bars, which are motocross bars. They're a heck of a lot wider than your regular sport bike bars for even standard bike. I personally like that because I've been riding dirt bikes my entire life, so I really liked having that nice wide feel. It makes me feel at home when I'm riding it. But also, the only bar risers that I had at my house were 1 1/8, not 7/8 of an inch, which are the standard bars, are 7/8 of an inch. It seemed like I had limited choices at that point. In the end, I really liked them. This turned out well. I couldn't be happier. For what you have to do after you get your bars, you're gonna need a new clutch cable. The stock one was far too short. This is actually a CRF 450, a 2004, if you guys want to do the exact same thing that I've done, and it worked perfect. Another thing about street bikes, they don't have the adjustability up here, so which means you have to adjust everything in here, which I thought was really stupid. I don't know what the deal with that is, but I can adjust my clutch play up here, get it exactly the way I want it, and it fit on perfectly. Like, down here it was slightly difficult. You had to feed it in and then just bend it into the right way, because the casting that the hard part of the cable doesn't fit naturally. But 10 minutes of dinking around with it and I got it in there just fine. If you don't want to get a CRF 450 clutch cable, a Suzuki SV650N naked style with the standard bars, I understand, will work. And I'm fairly confident about saying that because these are SV650N clutch cables from Motion Pro, which you do need those as well because they're too short again. I just lifted up the tank, pulled off the air filter, and tilted up the air boots, and it takes time. It really does. It was kind of a pain, but you can get it done sooner or later. Just gotta be patient with it and work the cables in and out. and it'll get done. Probably the most expensive part for everybody, unless you have them laying around, is going to be your brake lines. I went way overkill with my brake lines and got them super long, which I actually kind of turned out well for me, because then I could just mount my brake reservoir right to them. I didn't have to make a separate mount for it, so I kind of liked it. All you do is take off the old ones, put those in, and bleed them, I think. And you have to get new banjo bolts as well. I forgot to add that. Or you can get custom brake lines. After you have installed your clutch cable, tightened it to the proper place, gotten your throttle cables on, and tighten them to their proper spec, and bled your brake lines, you're pretty much done. The only thing you have left is you're gonna have to lengthen all of your electrical system. They're just too short, so all I did, spliced in, added wire, put them back together, and taped everything up and made it look pretty. Just gotta take everything off and measure out how long you want your brake lines, and then go from there. I just want to talk a moment about bar choice. So if I was to do this again, I would probably get 7/8 inch risers that will open you up to a lot more options as far as what bars you want to run, because there's tons of street bike bars that have 7/8 inch. For me, pretty much perfectly upright with arms comfortable is about there. So I mean, if I had these length bars that were slightly bent backwards, I mean just by like a hand grip length, that would be about perfectly upright. This is slightly leaning forward, but not bad. I actually just went for a 160-mile ride yesterday, and oh, no problems. My back didn't hurt at all. My hands had all the blood that they're supposed to have in them. It was amazing. I couldn't be happier with the result of this modification to my bike. Again, I went with moto bars. I like them. I think they're awesome. But if you want something different, I would go with 7/8 inch risers, and then you can, I mean, you can choose from anything at that point. You could get cruiser bars, I guess, if you want. Be kind of silly, but you know, make it yours. Hopefully this helped you guys make a decision on whether or not you want to do this modification, and helped you understand how and what all goes into finishing this modification. I absolutely think it's worth it. In the end, like, if my only option was to spend like the $200 to get that upper triple tree clamp, I would have done it. I mean, it's worth it. Not being in pain after a half an hour of riding is 100% worth it. Hopefully this gave you a visual aid of how this all works and how it goes together. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. I check them as regularly as possible, and I try and reply and get back to you guys so that I can help share this knowledge with you all. Thanks again for watching, and I will talk to you guys later. So hopefully this helped you guys make your decision on whether or not you want to modify your bike in this way, and whether or not you what am I saying? I don't even know what I'm saying right now. Smoking crack right here. Okay, I think that didn't suck, so let's roll. Oh, bugs. God, I hate bugs.